Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising in Venus, welcome. I'm David. This Warriors of Light, Astro Tarot. Doing a June reading. It's a straight up general love read. And using a little bit of a different spread. Still 8 cards. This one I heavily used the bottom of the deck, unlike the heart spread. It's kind of more about an assessment, kind of where you're at, as more that I look for. With the heart spreads throughout relationships, so it's about you and another force. This is kind of meant to be your energy, but I know I love relationship stuff. It's like that's how we grow and learn, mostly through relationships. It seems most of us. Sometimes we do it alone. That's part of it too. But I think you're doing something here, okay, Taurus. And first of all, with the bottom of the deck, and the moon, it's something emotional, something unseen. I like to think of it in this position here. It's going to be something about yourself, Taurus, that you can't really see. And this stuff sometimes is very easily seen by, particularly, I gotta say, if you're a Venus dominant sign like Libra or Taurus, you might, not really welcome harsh comments and stuff, and so you might not have anybody around you sometimes. If you just ask a good friend and you also trust, God help us if we have one of those, we're blessed, right? You don't get a lot of friends like that, but that's the friend you just ask. You're like, what am I not seeing around the situation or whatever? They'll probably go right there. They'll go right there, go, oh, well, it's this here. And you'll be like, oh, shoot, yeah. Something we don't want to see. It's difficult for us to see. It's not really bad. Because where you're coming in this past position with the King of Swords and the Sun, you're feeling really good, Taurus. I mean, really in control. I think with the King of Swords kind of showing up, this is your energy, and over the Sun, I don't know, you're in a situation, or you have been for a while, within yourself and in your relationship, where you're feeling really good and like you're in command. The King of Swords is the commander king. He gives orders, and I think this is what it is. And with Taurus energy, you want to be, you double down in it, dig in the heels, and you feel like shit. It's going really good. It's been going really good. And now imagine you've got the Sun and the Moon here next to each other, really. Sun and the Moon. This is kind of in the unconscious self and more of your conscious self. Or maybe coming under the King of Swords, it's like you're so busy being the King of Swords, Taurus, that you really don't appreciate how good you got it. Not a bad thing. Just kind of like, for a second, stop back and go kind of, applause, and maybe look at where you were a year ago, or 2 years ago, 5 years ago, and look at where you're at now. Maybe what you don't get to be the King of Swords by dilly-dallying. So you did something, you earned it, in some way. That's part of your core self. But when you have the Knight of Swords now coming over the Tower, and this is in a position, I believe, what's going to be troubling or blocking you. That's definitely a message with the Knight of Swords, but it's a strong message. It's like a message that something happened while you were at work. A tornado blew the roof off your house and it's completely wrecked. Tower, very literal. But it's someone bringing you bad news. Now, what I don't know, I kind of don't like this because it is predictive. If this has not happened, that's what this is going to say. Now, the Tower, it happens. You can do a lot of readings. It's just you're wrapping. Again, it's kind of speaking to that thing I said about the Moon. Maybe it's something that the friend tells you that you don't see. The 12th house, the hidden enemies, and self-betrayal. Because it's stuff in that deep unconscious that we don't see. And it would be exactly the kind of thing King of Swords might miss, okay? Maybe the King of Cups or the Queen of Cups would catch it, right? Or the High Priestess would catch it, anything like that. But maybe this is something, so it's something kind of emotional, maybe vulnerable. You have very strong cards, like you have yourself surrounded with strong people. But they're bringing pretty difficult news to you. When you have just look at the difference between the Tower. If you just look at it, and the Sun, I'm all about reading intuitively. If you just ask a child, say, honey, look at these here pictures, baby. What all do you think of this here? He or she'd look at it for a minute and go, "That's not good, Mommy. That's not good, Dad. I don't know. Doesn't feel good to me." And yeah, so this is really interesting, because now we move over to the advice, and you have the star over the 4 wands. I mean, that's manifestation. It's the second reading with Aries. It was all about manifestation. Manifesting a long-term committed relationship or a marriage. Manifesting the building of a long-term committed relationship or a marriage. The star over the 4 wands. That's what that is. So this tower, when it comes down, or if it has come down, or if it is coming down, Taurus, it frees you. That's what it does. It's a shock to your sun. You know, you're in this energy, and it's like, it's you. In some way, it frees you. I mean, really, it could be almost like miraculously frees you, uncannily frees you, you know, against all odds. It's a good thing. And because this is the advice from Spirit, 2 cards in this reading, I always say I take them more seriously. Might not take myself seriously, never take the government seriously, Taurus, but I always take advice from Spirit. You got the star over the 4 wands, and that's like, don't worry, because like it or not, you're going to have a stable relationship to work on, and it's the one you've been dreaming of, okay? And then with the outcome, the 3 of Pentacles over the 7 of Swords. This news here might involve also the 7 of Swords. And news that there was cheating, lying, stealing, something like this, unsavory behavior. But this shows the 2 of you managing it together. So by the time that this reading is over, it's for the June time frame, it shows you connecting with someone with whom you can build this. If you haven't already, you could already have done this, right? So you're just kind of in this energy right now, Taurus, of connecting with this person that you're in the process of, the 4 wands, action, in the process of building a long-term committed relationship, which for different people takes different lengths of times. Typically for a Taurus, you know, or a Virgo, or even a Capricorn, I mean, you know, they're not going to want to do this overnight. You know, fire sign, yeah, Sag, Aries, yeah, we can run away and get married, you know, in Vegas, not it's all good fun. But when you guys come together, you have to deal with something. The 3 of Pentacles is really positive. It's rolling your sleeves up and doing work. So it's like, no matter what level you're both at of your sophistication as a couple, it's like you're going to have work to do, and it's going to be there's going to be somebody in this relationship, I hate to say this, but so strong. I can clear audience too. It's like, David. This is somebody just bad-mouthing you, Taurus, bad-mouthing the relationship. It's the core. You come in with the King of Swords, okay? So imagine you're the King of Swords. This is the 7 of Swords, and they're kind of a sneaky, underhanded person. They're not going to, this is very important, this person, you know, they're not going to engage you directly, man or woman to man or woman energy. You know, it's in sneaky ways and passive-aggressive in the extreme, and all of this, but it's disparaging, and it's disparaging coming next to the 4 wands, this relationship. And it could be your person for the past, could be theirs, some combination of, could be more than one person. But there's this energy that as a couple, just to be clear, Taurus, at the beginning of your relationship, you will be engaged. This will help cement the relationship. I won't worry about it. Shit happens. Relationships are blood and guts, man. Fuck all the fairy tales. If you got a good relationship, it's a goddamn blessing. Miracle. And I think you got that. And you guys are going to work to deal with this. And I think in a very level-headed and practical way. You know, you're not going to let it bother you. You're just going to deal with it. You know, things have to be dealt with. People have to be blocked or communicated with or whatever. It has to be, actions have to be taken. 3 is a lot of actions, communication. And that'll be your relationship getting started. So, you know, maybe also this kind of what's hidden too. This thing that's coming. It's kind of, maybe if you think, what, leave me a message. I'd love if you go, oh yeah, now that you say it's got to be this, because I read readings like that. I watch readings. It's important how we watch readings. You know, it's so amazing, just our intuition, what it can do. I take a love reading and turn it into a spiritual purpose reading and a heartbeat, and it always works for me. But thank you guys. Love you. Appreciate it. Thumbs up, like, all that good stuff. Share.